evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I am John Levesque. You guys probably know me. Welcome. I am here with an amazing crew of people. They are here in all different time zones, all over the world. And I just want to say, thank you guys so much, first of all. And I am going to now let you each introduce yourselves to the public. So let's go ahead and start with Ahmad. Ahmad, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, so cheers, guys. My name is Ahmad Al-Najjar. I'm here from Oslo, Norway. It's a little bit cloudy, so sorry about the light quality as well. Enjoying my sugar-free cola.
All right.
I do have some swag in here. Always.
Laskowitz, you're up.
Okay. My name is Daniel Laskowitz. I'm 32 years old and I'm from the Netherlands. And I work as a business productivity consultant at Society. And I do a lot of work with Microsoft Flow. And that's why I'm here.
Right on. Fausto is on his lunch with us. Fausto, go ahead and say hello.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm hiding my face today. I'm just hanging out with these guys. So hopefully for next time, I'll be able to show it.
So you are the invisible guy.
Exactly.
Invisible man.
That's Fausto's job. By day, he is the invisible man.
Exactly.
All right, Mr. John Liu.
Oh, I'm next. I am calling from Melbourne, Australia. So I usually live in Sydney. I'm actually going home tomorrow. This is the Melbourne skyline. I probably should turn the light off, then you could see it. It is 2 a.m. I'm watching this, and then I have to go to sleep.
Thanks for being with us, John. All right, Matt.
Hey, guys, I'm Matt Wade. Let's see, I work on Flow behind a chatbot called AdBot, and I'm also the periodic table guy. So if you've never seen it, that's it right there. And I'm calling in today at my lunch hour as well, like Fausto, from the both literal and figurative swamp of Washington, D.C.
All right, Sandy.
Hi, I'm Sandy Ucia. I am currently in Cutro, Italy, which is at the very bottom of the boot. And I'm global partner manager for Lightning Tools, but I've been doing Flow and Power Apps for the last couple of years, presenting sessions and doing demos and things like that.
Awesome. Thanks, Sandy, for joining us from Italy. Serge?
Hey, I'm Dr. Flow. Oh, to be honest, I'm not a real doctor. No,
you're not? What?
I can do flow injection for free.
Oh, man. Awesome.
So I'm based in Brussels, so it's 6 p.m. here in Brussels, and very happy to be here. I mean, awesome. Cool.
Thanks, Serge.
Who's got the Flow puppy in the background?
Oh, that's got to be Chewy.
Oh,
wasn't Chewy.
No? I don't know. All right. And did we lose April? She dropped out on us, huh? All right. Well, last but not least, Shane, you're up, sir.
What up? So my name is Shane Young, and I am the newest member of this really cool crew. I mean, I can't tell you guys how excited I am, right? So here I am, a Power Apps and Flow nerd, and all of a sudden I'm doing a Google Hangout with all my idols, right? I mean, Serge and John and Fausto and Daniel, all of you guys, you got me so worked up that I feel really nervous right now, right? I'm kind of scared that, the really smart people are going to see how dumb I am. So this will be fun.
The pressure's on.
It is.
All right. And so today Shane is going to be presenting for us. He's going to be doing the bulk of our session. The rest of us will chime in as the peanut gallery. Shane has told us behind the scenes to please chime in and offer suggestions and corrections in different ways and thoughts and ideas and all the different things that we can offer him along his presentation journey. So same goes for you guys. We have a chat here in the YouTube. If you have questions, if you have comments, please go ahead and leave them. I will go ahead and MC this thing and stop him and ask those questions. which will be a great amount of fun. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Shane here and let him take it away.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, but definitely looking forward to the fun. There's Chewy, so you guys can see him. Yeah, and I have one of those really super wide monitors, so I apologize, but Google Hangouts doesn't let me do it differently, but hopefully Zoom and stuff make it so everyone can see. So what I wanted to do today was talk about Power Apps, right? I hijacked the flow call to talk about Power Apps, and I'm talking to the camera, but the camera's off. It's really weird. But no, so what I want to do is I built a Power Apps app to control my Tesla. And so in order to do that, you have to work with a bunch of APIs. And to work with all those APIs, it's actually really difficult from Power Apps, but our dear friend Flow makes it very simple. So I'm going to walk you through the app real quick, and then we will jump over and show you what we're doing in Flow to make all of this work. So I'm excited. This is fun. So very simple, right? We're going to log in. And I've saved my username and password because I don't need any of you people pulling shenanigans and starting my car for me in the middle of the night. So we'll hit connect. So when we hit connect, it's going to run a couple of flows in the background for us. And those flows are authenticating. They're getting the list of the cars. And they're getting back all of this data. So everything you see here, this image is coming back based on the model options that I have from Tesla. This is my car's name. I named it Vader. I don't know why. Miles, you can see that inside the car it's 80, outside it's 78. The AC is not on. So it's a bunch of data. And then we have options down here. And this is where it gets real crazy, right? So not only can I report from the car, but I can do things like I can unlock the car. I can turn the AC on or off. And then I can even start the car. So earlier this morning, I'd hoped to get a video, but I didn't have enough time. I actually started and drove the car purely from a Power Apps app that was done thanks to Flow. So
that's terrifying.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my wife is freaked out. She's like, I think I want to revoke your access to do that. I'm like, nope.
You're not on the East Coast, right? I'm safe where I am.
Yeah.
I just have to say, I love that he named his car Vader. Like the black Tesla Vader. It's perfect, man. It's perfect.
Yeah, all those buttons, right? It just
I don't know why you said I don't know why. I think it makes perfect sense.
Well, because I've never named a car before, but when you get to Tesla, you first turn it on, it's like, hey, name me, right? So we all you're like, the car demands to be named. It's really, it's different. I don't know.
Shane,
yeah.
Shane, did you check the Flow SLA before?
No, I did not.
Oh, that's a great point.
Serge, man. Oh.
So you're telling me that this is like a violation? I'm probably going to jail for making this app. Is that what you're telling me, Serge?
No, he's giving me a hard time over here.
Well, good.
You just need to do a disclaimer before you start the car.
So the other thing that's interesting, all right, so if you've ever looked at Teslas before, you know that there's a Tesla app that does all of these things. You're like, who cares? This is boring. But for me, the reason that I did this, right, is I needed to learn how to interact with the APIs in Flow from Power Apps. And so I needed a project that got me excited, right? So, doing the test data, the hello world crap doesn't do anything for me. But figuring out how to write an app to do things with my car, mind blown. I also, over here, what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do now that I have got this working, I promise I'm going to show you the flows in just a second, is I've also going to add a feature. So one of the things about Tesla is I can start the AC whenever I want, but I have to remember to do it, right? So for example, when I go golfing, so I know that in 4 hours, I want the AC to come on so I can get into a cool car, but I have to remember on hole 16 to turn it on. So what I've done over here, and this is not completely working, that's why it looks ugly right now, but what I've done here is I can enter a time and then run this button that will go set me up a flow that delays start until this time. So then that way the AC will come on in 4 hours when I want it to, instead of not coming on or, being on the whole time, or me having to remember, because I suck at remembering things.
This is amazing.
Or when we get what's the geo thingy that's coming out soon, where like when Shane reaches the 16th hole, it'll automatically.
Yeah.
That is the coolest thing. See, this is why we do this, right? All right. So let's jump over, or let's show you kind of how this works from a flow perspective because John warned me I'd get in trouble if I did too much Power Apps. I own a company called Power Apps 911. We do flow stuff, but
no.
my first one was Power Apps.
Show it off, man. Show your stuff.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this clear collect, right? We're going to create a collection. We're going to name it var Tesla auth, and we're going to run our flow. So Tesla auth run, and we're going to pass the username and password from these two boxes. So if we jump over to flow, there you go. Now you can be happy. And we go edit that flow. Right. So what do we got? We got, all right, get data from Power, right? Power Apps are a trigger. And so then this is where I was shocked, right? Getting into APIs. It is so straightforward, right? I'm just going to go do a post to this URL, and I'm going to pass in the body the email, right? The email out of Power Apps and the password out of Power Apps. That's it. I did not have to like understand even what I was doing here. I literally cut and pasted this body in, set my content type to application JSON. I think that's how you spell JSON. I don't even know. I'm confused. But I'm American, so not spelling is kind of our thing. But there you go. So I pasted this in here, and then this just gets a response back from Tesla that has the important thing I need, which is the access token, right? So email password becomes an access token. I then hit a different API to get the list of cars that are accessible from that access token. So I only have one Tesla. Some people are blessed and have 10 Teslas. So this would return all of them. I only have one to return. But there I get that back. And then finally, we go down here. And so Teslas go to sleep and wake up just like your computer because they really are just drivable computers. But so the Tesla, we wake it up so that way all of the data that we want is available. And then I respond back to Power Apps with a auth auth variable, and that's the access token, and then vehicle ID, which I should probably spell out better because vid doesn't really make sense. But and I respond back with the body, which is that vehicle ID. Boom, awesome, right? So that's done. So then you got a little semicolon action here. It says, all right, go do something else. So then we're going to clear collect, create another collection called var Tesla data. And in this collection, we're going to run the Tesla data flow. And I'm just passing over vid, vehicle ID, and auth, the auth token that we got. And this was how I was able to cut down on having to log into the car over and over and over again. I was trying to be, as efficient as my dumb brain could handle. And so things like, getting the username and password, or getting the auth token and vehicle ID and storing those once. So then now all these other flows, so this is Tesla data, are just going to leverage the data, the tokens that we already have. So let's show you what Tesla data looks like. So we'll edit. So got it from Power Apps.
I think that's off again.
Oh, I did the wrong
that's
off again. Darn it. I was like, this doesn't look right. It's because I clicked the wrong thing. Good job, guys. Good job, Peanut Gallery. All right. So here we get the data from Power Apps. And you know what, Flow people, maybe you can tell me why, but I couldn't directly use the variable I got back from, or the token I get back from Power Apps. I had to put it into a string variable. And then I pass that string variable as the token here. And then this HTTP5, that's the vehicle ID, right? Because this is the get, and this gets me the miles and miles of data about my car. So I don't know.
Well, there are two cases for that when you're passing like built-in parameters that is within Flow. So it's either you have to click on the flyout menu, see more. So basically you could see all the parameters that are passed from actions from before. So that's one thing.
So
but
no
if you
see
don't
more.
have that, it's actually expecting a certain type.
Exactly.
So I think that's something within, yeah. So if it's not passed within the certain type, if it's not string or if it's not number, then basically it won't be shown. So there are like two possibilities.
Yeah, and it was weird for me, right? Because if we go back, right, so now we're troubleshooting my app because I got all these smart people on here. So when I didn't have it set up that way, if I tried to pass this line right here, right, which is go get that auth collection, get the first record, and then pass the auth value, it was yelling at me that it expected a record instead of a string, which is what I was returning. So that was why I figured out that if I pass this string and then just shove it in this variable or shove it up here, then this action could take that variable. So I don't know. I didn't overthink it. I overcame it in like 5 minutes, which is a record for me. So it was a little weird though. All right. So that gets all the data, and then we just respond back to Power Apps with the entire response body, which is literally about 120 different objects. Now, this was, to me, was really daunting. I'm like, how in the world do I figure all this out? But what I think it was Vivek got on and showed me was that if you can get this to run successfully in a test run, you can go look at your test run, your flows that have ran the test history, and you can get the output from this. Then you come over here to the response step, and you set the response body for it. You said use sample payload, and you just paste in the thing you got from your test run. And then Flow was smart enough to just do all this for me. So I didn't have to understand that my ID is an integer and all that fun stuff. So that was a great shortcut that saved me a lot of time writing a bunch of JSON that I'm not smart enough to write.
That's pretty handy. I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah. So he put in just these two steps. We ran the flow. It was successful. He went to the test actions or the test results and then got the output from the test result.
Nice.
And then click on use sample payload.
Love
boom.
It. Very cool.
But so then that gets all the data back. And so then if we go over here, right? So then if we look at Tesla data, or sorry, var Tesla data. So then we can go to view collections, var Tesla. You know, that was the one thing I didn't want to show you. I just showed you. Congratulations. Darn it. I have to fix that. Anyway, so here is all the response, and then it's just kind of nested down. So for example, the drive state, right? So we can see where the vehicle is. So there's my latitude and longitude of my garage right now, if anybody want to know where I live.
This is hilarious, man. You're showing all your info.
I am. When my car gets hacked, at least I'll know what happened.
Your credit card number is there as well.
Yeah, I mean, might as well be. But so then like this also is very dynamic, right? So if I was driving the car right now while I was doing this, then you'd see the speed and things like this. So it gives you a lot of that type of data. But that one call via flow, right, returned, here's all my client data or all my climate data, right? So, what's the temperature and all that, which is stored in Celsius. And I had to convert to Fahrenheit. That was a tragedy, right? Once again, it's an American car in an American country. What in the world are they doing using Celsius?
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, it makes complete sense because Celsius is better than Fahrenheit, but don't tell anybody that. But anyway, so, but once you have all this raw data back, then this is where I was able to kind of figure out what are the different data points and things that I wanted to show and display about the car. And there's my VIN. There you go. So you guys got my VIN too now. I am winning.
Oh, man.
So, Shane, I'm very jealous for two reasons. The first is, well, you have a Tesla. I don't have it. The second, you create the app. So, so congratulations. That's very nice.
Well, thank you. It was you were one of the people that helped along the way, Serge. So take the my appreciation back to you.
The question, so I was surprised. Maybe Sandy, you can answer this one because actually you use flow because of the HTTP action, and I'm surprised that we cannot use this action or something similar in Power Apps. We should be able to use this kind of thing. It's so important.
Yeah, I agree.
Because creating a flow for using just this action is overkill. Sometimes I use flow for other things as well, because sometimes if I want to create complex condition thing like this, I do that in flow instead of Power Apps, because Power Apps is a little bit too short when you have to create complex condition. The if, etc. is a bit, I don't feel very good in Power Apps. But the HTTP should be out of the box in Power Apps, right? So the question is, how do we know when a connector is available for Power Apps and flow as well. So is that documented or?
Well, the connectors are all the same, right?
Normally,
not entirely. Connectors are not entirely the same, no.
Oh.
Flow has a set of its own built-in connectors that Power Apps doesn't have access to.
Oh, those ones, right?
Yeah.
But the HTTP should be open to anything.
I think the approvals is also not available in Power Apps, right?
Right. Yeah, there's a whole series of
And
connections.
the button, flow buttons.
Yeah, right. Sort of service
There are a
ones.
couple of them.
Yeah, I think that's great feedback for the Power Apps team, and I'll make sure that Audrey takes that back to them.
Yeah, and that was right. Just to kind of finish the story there. So I definitely tried to start with the coming in here and creating a custom connector from
HTTP.
So hold on, let me pause you real quick, Shane, before we continue on. There's some great comments over here in the YouTube chat. So a couple is first of all, poor Shane built himself into being stalked, hunted, and having his car stolen, and that they're going to use the geo triggers, that anyone that goes near your house, their Twitter has a meltdown.
Great.
And they're also saying you can do you can build a custom HTTP connector, but Flow is so much simpler. And then I got a question from Philip. Could you set up a function in Logic Apps that could be executed from Power Apps? But again, I think Flow is probably simpler than that as well.
Yeah, and that's what I did, right? I went with the path of least resistance, because you can see I tried to create a Tesla custom connector here, and I spent about 10 minutes on it, and I'm like, no way. And so then that was when someone said, if you do this in Flow, it's super simple. So being a citizen developer, because I am not a developer, right? I cannot write C#. I barely understand JSON and web APIs and that stuff. But
I keep hearing about this Jason guy.
Yeah, I think he has a mask, right? He runs through the woods with a knife or something.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out his whole game myself. So one more question real quick before I let you go on. So Stephen McGill here asked, do any of you ladies and gentlemen offer coaching or training services, or know people who might? I'm particularly interested in understanding more about expressions and HTTP calls. If you would like to possibly train Stephen on those things, raise your hand.
Is it in Europe or where is it?
We got a mod one. Stephen is UK, it looks like.
UK.
Yep.
Oh,
John raised his hand.
Peter should be able to help him. Peter.
Peter's on vacation, so we won't offer him up, but we could. That's a possibility. So Ahmad said yes. John Liu raised his hand as well. So Stephen, there's a couple options.
I just want to go to the UK.
You just want to go to the UK? Nice.
Have you guys ever heard of Google Hangouts? I think you can do that over that too.
You can. There's this awesome thing called the internet.
So then I wouldn't be doing my job, right? I get in trouble. But so I will also raise a hand for Power Apps 911, right? We do ad hoc consulting and mentoring for Power Apps and Flow. And like just this morning, I hopped on with a guy for literally a half an hour just to fix his approval workflow. We have models where we can just bill people for half an hour. So it works out. That's the whole 911 model, peeps.
There you go. Sumit is here. What's up, Sumit? Welcome.
Hey, Sumit.
All right. Shane, back to you, sir.
All right. Okay. So we got this data, right? So then we just navigated over to this screen. And so then all of this information is rendered from those two collections, right? And so like, for example, Tesla configurator, composer, model, blah, 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 blah. And then it gets the option codes for my car, and then boom. So that's how it knows what image to show here. So if my car option codes change to red, we'd see the red Tesla there.
Wow.
And then, these are all just much simpler, right? So first bar, Tesla data, response, display name, and that's how we get Vader. Here we can see how I probably poorly did the conversion from Celsius to Fahrenheit. I think I got that right.
Why?
It's fairly simple.
Yeah, you got it right.
Hey, everything is simple once you guys are smart like you people. Not for me.
Stop it.
So then this is same type of thing, just some string manipulation stuff to show off the battery percentage charge and the estimated range for that particular charge.
It would be cool to have some of that stuff in sort of a more graphic thing.
Completely agree. That's on the list of things to do. A nice little animation bar. Boop.
Yeah, the battery level would be a fun one, and set some color ranges of,
Door open.
Yeah. All of that is actually very possible because they have like the stock images with the door open and things like that too. So
wow.
Okay, so then we get into the chaos, right? So this was all just a bunch of read. I felt really safe when I did all of this, but then we said, all right, let's unlock that car. So it turns out that I just need to make a simple, I'm going to pass back over the vehicle ID and that auth token, and we're going to run Tesla unlock. And so if we go over here, as you've probably seen a pattern, this is going to be super straightforward. So edit that. All right, we got the data from Power Apps. We had to initialize the auth token again. And then we just do a simple post. Nothing to return, no nothing. Just post to that URL with a valid token and boom, your car is unlocked. And this is where, I got into though, and it took me a little bit of work, but it felt a lot better, right? Because now, once I wrote the first one of these, I think HVAC start was the first one, I would just copy this and then I would just, or not copy, save as, and I'd save it as Tesla unlock. And then you go into Tesla unlock and you just change the post command from, HVAC start to, car unlock or whatever the API call was that. But the structure was exactly the same. So I made all of these, unlock and start and HVAC start in like 5 minutes once I gotten the pattern down. Now, one of my plans though, right, because I want to learn more about flow and I want to be kind of cool, so you guys will think I'm cool, is I want to, in the next version, I'm going to pass from Power Apps the command, right? So for example, well, this one's a bad example, but this command portion right here, so remote start drive, is the only thing that's changing between these different Tesla starting actions. So I'm going to actually pass this from Power Apps as a variable as well. So then that way I'll just have one flow for all of my post actions, and I'll just pass in the parameters instead of, having a different one for each one. Right? Does that make me cooler, my flow people?
Shane, you're already super cool, and anything you're doing in flow makes me happy.
I know, John. Okay, so then that brings us to the last function that we were kind of talking about. And that is this idea that I wanted to be able to set it to go to a certain time. So to do this, I need to show you on select. I needed a little help in John Liu, who it is now 2:28 a.m. in his world, was kind enough to help me with. Is I needed to send over to Flow, I need to send UTC time. So you type in 1230 here, and Flow wants UTC, so we have to we use the text function from Power Apps and to do a date time format of UTC, and we have to append a Z to it. I don't completely understand why. And in reality, I need to add 5 as well, but I haven't done that yet. I literally wrote this like 5 minutes before this webinar started. But so I'm going to append 5 because I am actually UTC -5. But, I had to do a little cleanup. And this is where Power Apps, I think, comes into handy, right? It's real simple for somebody to type in start the car at 1230. And then we just handle on the function side, making sure that's in a nice UTC format, because I'm certain users cannot type things into UTC. And so then if we switch back to Flow, this is one of my favorite flows that I actually learned from watching a video by Mr. Levesque, and that is delay until. So then we just delay until that time that we get straight from Power Apps, and then once the delay is over, we will initialize the auth token and then go do auto conditioning start. Now, what I might find out is if I delay too long, my auth token might expire. So I might need to add some logic if my auth token's expired to go get a new auth token. But this is brand new, people. I literally finished this app this morning. So
This is rad.
Very cool. Very cool.
But are you going to take your laptop for a walk to go show us that it actually works?
Yes.
I mean, I'm just asking the innocent questions here,
you should
guys.
do
You know?
it.
So I have a desktop PC, right?
That's mistake number one. Are you sure you even have a Tesla?
I could vouch for Power Apps. Basically, you could just use the mobile. So it's an app. So you could just go out.
But how would
Take your phone.
I'm glad somebody hit the softball for me.
Okay, so how about this? If one of you will take over and entertain the fine people for 5 minutes, I will go make a video of myself right now doing it, and I'll just jump back over. I don't know. Maybe that's outside of what I should be doing right now.
You should do it. You should do it. No, you should do it.
One life.
Do it.
Do it.
The people demand it.
All right, well, people, let me stop sharing my screen. So you guys, all right, you guys entertain.
All
I've
right.
never left my own presentation to go do something else, but I'm going to. It's first
Yes.
everything. I'll be back in hopefully 5 minutes.
I love it. Okay. All right. So that's awesome. You guys, I love the pressure, Matt Wade. First of all, let me say,
Dude, it was like he's showing us dinner and not letting us eat it. You know, like what the heck?
it's true. It's true. I love your push of, do you even have a Tesla?
Well, that was just a long-winded commercial for telling us that he has a Tesla. So I want a proof on that. You know?
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Those flow had green tick boxes. That means it's working.
Yeah. It's true. You're right, John. You're right. But we wanted him to go out there anyways and do it. So it wasn't about the evidence. It was about what could we get him to do. My favorite part will be
I'm
now.
sorry I joined late. Sorry to
What's
interrupt.
up?
Hey.
Melissa, what's up?
Hi, Mel.
Hey,
We're getting super excited here in DC for our first Flow user group meeting.
Hashtag
Our
frog.
site is ready.
Yes.
So
Your site is ready. What's the site?
we're getting the link like today or Monday.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay.
hmm
Cool.
And Daniel's already got one started, right?
Yeah, his is full.
Yeah,
Daniel,
we're
tell us
almost
about
booked up.
yours.
yeah. We have a user group in Vianen. It's close to Utrecht in the Netherlands, and it's almost booked up. So it's going really well.
Nice. Do you have a site URL yet?
I think so. Let me check. I'll put it in the
Throw
YouTube.
it in the YouTube chat. Yeah. And Melissa, when we get yours, we'll all pimp it out.
Okay, yeah, they're all based off of the Flow user group site. So we're getting
Perfect.
websites off there. Yeah.
Perfect. Melissa, take a second. Tell everybody about yourself real quick. What do you do? Where do you work? How are you connected to Flow?
All right, I'm Melissa Hubbard. I'm a Flow MVP. I'm in the DC area, and I'm a project manager, consultant person for Office 365 and SharePoint. Started off in SharePoint and have moved on to Office 365 for the most part.
Right on.
And you wrote a book on team.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. You forgot to mention.
Yes, I am a published author now. My book, Mastering Microsoft Teams, is on pre-sale and will hopefully be shipping soon. Thanks
Right
for the reminder.
Yeah. All right, John's taking off. Bye, John. He just
Good
dropped
night,
out.
John.
I don't.
Bye.
Time for bed.
Time for bed. It's very late for him for sure. Okay, a couple of things. So he just left, but I wanted to let him know he has an admirer here, Karthik Kasavan. John Liu, my guru, he says in the chat. And then also, Sandy, you got a shout out from Gary Trinder. Hey, Sandy, nice to see you. Hope
Yeah, I
you're
see
well.
that.
Which country are you in? Perfect.
I'm in Italy, Gary.
She's in Italy. Yes. She was just in Germany, right?
Yes.
Now in
Yep.
Italy.
Yeah. Soon to be in Stockholm.
Oh, you live the coolest life, Sandy.
I think so.
I think so too. All right,
Yes.
so let's tell these guys. So for our viewers who are waiting for Shane to return, we've challenged Shane to go out and take some video of him actually using his Tesla app. I don't know how he's going to actually like take video and use the app on his phone. So it'll be
Maybe
interesting.
That's the fun part. The
maybe he'll
unpredictability
make
of
his
this is
wife
going to make it
do
that much more fun.
Maybe he'll
You're
make
gonna ask
his
one of his
wife.
neighbors to video him.
Yeah, that would be okay. I'm excited.
He'll be back in an hour and a half.
But in the meantime, who has done any media? Who's done like written anything? Made a video? Who wants to pimp out their latest stuff?
All right. So the good news is that the video
already.
is getting emailed to me, right? So I had one of our employees record it. He's emailing it to me. I will then play it just as fast as he can.
I hope you're paying him overtime.
This
That was
is
definitely
amazing.
not in the job description.
It's crazy. I can,
It's April. Hey, April.
Oh, hi, April.
Hey, what's up, April?
Hey guys, I'm back. I had internet issues.
Hey.
It's storming here, and my power went out, and that was fun. So,
Right on. Welcome.
thanks.
all right, you got John. You got to entertain him for like 2 more minutes while this video flies across the internet.
Yeah, no problem. So I was just asking, who has written something recently or done a video or something they want to promote? I know I saw Serge is on a writing spree lately. Serge, what have you written lately that you want to share?
Oh, actually, I'm working on my Ignite session,
Oh,
and it's almost ready. And during this session, I will show many patterns, flow patterns. So I've worked on one of them. Maybe can I share my screen?
yeah. You got. Is it going to take like 3 minutes?
Oh, less than 3 minutes.
All right, go ahead.
Let me find a way to
On the
share
left
it.
side, on the top, there's like a green thing that says screen share.
Screen share. Here we go. Let me find. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So I have many patterns, and one of them is what I call the patterns flow UI agnostic. When you want to start a flow, there are different ways to start a flow. You can start a flow from Excel, from SharePoint, from an app. And if you want to do that, you cannot do everything in one flow, because in a flow, you only have one first trigger. You can have several triggers in a flow, but only one first. So you have to split your flow in different parts. So one flow that will be called when you start from Excel. Example, you have expense report in Excel, you want to start your flow, or you want to start your flow from SharePoint or from your application, another flow, so 3 flow. And then all these 3 flows will call one common generic flow, which start from the request trigger, you see? So that's a pattern that you can reuse in the real world in production. So I'm using it in production. So pattern flow UI agnostic. That was the only way to solve my issue.
Right on.
And I came to this because the flow team gave us the possibility to start a flow from Excel, which is actually new. And I think this will be very, very, very popular in the future.
Yes.
That's it. It was short.
Right
So
on.
if you want to see more, then you have to attend my Ignite session.
I love it.
I'm still sharing my screen or not?
No, your screen is gone.
Okay, fine.
Yep, you're all set. Shane, how you doing? You ready? He's back. I see him here sitting down. How you doing?
I'm
You close?
close.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. iOS is just being a pokebot at sending me the file.
No worries. We got time.
We got plenty of time. So it's 20 minutes to go.
Yep.
So any good questions come up while I was away, or just people being like, why Shane?
So, no, there's a lot of good chat over here happening. One question from Melissa is, will your Teams book be available on Amazon?
Yes, it is currently available on Amazon for pre-sale. And I will say that there is an automation chapter that includes some flow and bot stuff.
Okay, all right, good.
Mhm.
I would expect no less.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
I do. Thank you.
Mhm.
Let's see here. What else we got? Still waiting on my approval for my Lexington, Kentucky user group. All right. So I am going to get on Rose about that. You've asked like 3 times. I've pinged her like 3 times. I promise you, I'm going to get to the bottom of this one here, live, streaming, and on demand in the future. So it's set in stone. I'll get you some results on that one.
It's downloading 3 seconds, 1 second, 0 seconds.
Perfect.
All right. Let's see how this goes through if I share.
Okay.
So
Bring it up.
Share my screen.
All
Is
right.
OP delivering right now? I think that's what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So you can see me?
Yep.
Raj. Now I don't know what the audio is going to do. I don't know if audio will come through. I guess we'll find out.
Oh, I turn up your speakers.
Sort
We're
of.
trying to hear it.
Okay. Let's just turn the. So here we are. We're going to log into our Tesla app. Can you hear it okay?
Yep, we got it.
Okay. Right, unedited, uncut. Loading animation screen. That's on my list of things to do. So there's the data. You have seen all this before. Here is the car. Right, and so if you watch, I'm going to hit unlock the car. And so you'll see the door handles pop out. Okay, so now the car is unlocked. So then now we're going to go over here. Tripping over garbage. So the car was charging, so we're going to unplug the car so it stops charging. Boom. Free gas, people, free gas. Okay. So then now we're going to hit start the car. Okay. So now that is free, I'm going to get in the car. Minor technical difficulty here. Car button again because I apparently broke it. Yeah, so for some reason the flow failed this time, but so what I do is I'm gonna jump over and I'm gonna rerun the flow that it worked. Don't worry. I didn't get rattled.
Right on.
Watch this resubmit action. And boom, car's on.
Ooh.
All right, that is very cool. Well done. Now, when do you turn into Pierce Brosnan in Tomorrow Never Dies, where you're just driving with your phone in the back seat?
I mean, the Tesla already.
That's awesome.
I don't think I'm asking for much, right? You know.
Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed.
That is awesome, Shane. And kudos for accepting the challenge and going and filming this. That was epic, dude. That is epic.
So
That's
I promise.
that's like something John would do.
Yeah. That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. So then what I'll do is when I make the proper video that like walks through like step by step how to build the Power App and the flow, then I'll also do a proper video, with all the animations and effects so you can really see me get in there, start the car, put some danger music.
Yes. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Good work.
Very, very excited. Ooh, I'm like all sweaty now.
Nice. Okay, so what do we got here? We got about 15 minutes left. I think, Shane, you had another demo that you said you might be willing to share with us. So this is a John Liu pattern that you have inherited, right? Doing some PDFs with Flow.
Yeah, I might have stolen this from John, but
Okay.
John gave me a thumbs up earlier, and it's 2:45, so he's barely awake, so he doesn't even know that I stole it. But yeah, so John, you can be very judgy too, so feel free if you do wake up to tell me that this is bad. And I can also tell you guys that after showing you that Tesla or that the Flow let me drive my car, this is very anticlimactic. We probably should have went the other order.
Right. Yeah, you're right, but that's okay. I think it's good to show something like that was pretty advanced, right? HTTP calls and things like that. I mean, I don't know if this does that as well, but this is a little more practical, right? Everyday business use case. So I think both are good, but you're right. We probably should have done them in the other order.
Yeah. So with this one, so this came from a customer of mine who said, "Hey, I want to do, I want to have a purchase order process in Power Apps." I'm like, "Yay, we do that. That's no problem." He said, "But then when we're all done and we've approved the purchase order, I want to." Oh, I'm going to turn that down. Sorry about that. But he said, "When I'm done with that, what I want to do is I want to email out the purchase order." I'm like, "Oh." So I went and looked on the internet, and my good buddy John, we're good buddies now. I don't know if you knew that, but we are. He had a blog post on how to use Flow to make a PDF. I know how to do Power Apps to Flow, so I kind of adapted the two. So as just a POC, I made a simple text input in Power Apps, and then a button that runs the make a PDF flow and just passes over the text from here. Cool? Cool. So if we go to flows, we'll go back to my flows. I feel so neat that I have all these flows now. Like there's Serge. I was doing some stuff for him earlier.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Was happy to help because you've helped me about 1,000 times.
It's a little bit further up, make PDF.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Peanut Gallery, you guys are awesome. I need you guys when I make all my videos. So this particular flow, so Power Apps is a trigger. You notice the theme with me. So then I said, all right, get file content. And so this is where I went and got the Power Apps 911 logo. I'm getting it from OneDrive. And this was, let's see, let's do over here. I love how Flow doesn't understand. They kick me over to this screen. Oh, and I don't know what's on my OneDrive, so no looking. But so over here, my OneDrive is a PA911 logo.
Oh, look, it's his social security number.
Shut up, I hate you all.
I mean, that was all that was missing after this session.
That's probably when I started work. You guys probably
cards and all.
Oh, you guys.
This is all GDPR compliant, right? Your hands.
Oh shit!
All right, so I got the file, and then this was part I was missing. I had to.
Listen. Can you hear my parade going by?
I don't hear it.
Oh, then maybe it's because I have my. Anyway, there's a parade going by because it's a festival today again.
Why are you on Hangouts and not outside hanging out? Like
I will be shortly.
Oh, all right, all right.
All right, so then you have to take that logo and you have to convert it to data URI, right? Because SharePoint and OneDrive by extension store the files in weird formats. So we converted it to a proper data URI. Then, oh, this is the nasty one. So I wrote this giant expression. Control A, Control C. We'll put this in Notepad real quick. And so this giant expression, what it does is it's all the HTML, because in order to make a PDF, you really have to create an HTML file, because then what we're going to do is we're going to convert the HTML to PDF. And so this is literally just normal HTML up to this point, which had been a long time since I'd written. And then we concatenate, right? So we add to the string, and then what we do is we grab that, that variable that we just made. Right, that was the when we converted the image into the data URI format. So we grab that. Then we can continue with a whole bunch of HTML. Oh, nope. I missed. So this is where I changed the image. This one is the data that I got from Power Apps. Right, so a bunch of HTML was to here. I'll start over. Then boom. This is the logo file in that converted format. This is more HTML. This is the data that I get from Power Apps. And then the whole rest of this thing is just HTML. Okay, so I had to write the HTML, but boom, there you go. You've got a whole bunch of HTML. And so you use that HTML to create a OneDrive file, right? So my HTML, I named it something useful. File2.html. I then use the convert file.
But so was there amounts and things hard coded into that?
Yes, yeah, right. Because this is just a proof of concept. So the amounts right now are hard coded.
Okay.
Yeah, in the real app, we're going to get we'll probably get the data from SQL and fill in the blanks.
Okay.
Way to catch me. So then convert file using paths. And then there's the path to the file. We can convert it to the format of PDF and PDFs alone, but that's what we wanted. So yay. And then once you convert it, this was something else I had to figure out. You have to then go and create a file from the output of this conversion routine. So I thought this would just automatically convert the file in place. It does not. It converts the file and kind of holds it in this file content. So then we said create a file, my file to PDF. And if we go over here, lo and behold, woohoo, we have a Power Apps 911 invoice generated from Power Apps by Flow into a PDF.
And it looks solid.
Ooh, cool.
It's because my HTML skills are off the hook.
No, seriously, like your HTML skills are solid. I mean, that looks really good especially for something like as a proof of concept that you built as just your first try. That's like really good.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And that's one of the secrets, right? If any of you guys are, doing consulting or starting to do consulting in this space, is this stuff is so easy to mock up once you're comfortable with it. That a lot of times when clients are like, hey, here's this crazy project I want to do. And I'm like, nope, your project's like 10 hours. And here, I just did a demo version for you in 30 minutes, right? Because that's one of the things you guys, I always recommend, take advantage of how fast and iterative this is. I wrote this whole app inside of an hour, and I had never done any of this before. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely take advantage of it.
And it's the power of this community too, right? Like you went and found stuff from John and you changed it up, and now you'll go and teach people how to do it, and they'll go and change it up. And it's like, we're part of an awesome community. I think we have a lot of sharing and a lot of co-partnerships. And I think our group especially, like I love all these people on this Hangout. I think it's fantastic how much you guys help each other. I love witnessing it.
Yeah, and it's really neat, right? Because we also do it in different mediums, right? So, for example, John makes all of these amazing blog posts. I'm a YouTuber, right? So I take and make visual content because we know that people learn different ways. Some people want to learn via written words. Some people want to learn via videos. Some people just want to pound their head against the wall until they figure it out. But yeah, the community is robust enough that we've kind of got people hitting it from all these different angles. And I think that's really one of the big upsides of, like you said, it's such a good, diverse ecosystem already.
Totally.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, Shane, thanks for showing us all this stuff. This is epic. This was awesome. And especially thank you for delivering on the Tesla app with the video. That was especially amazing. We got like 7 minutes left here, and so I want to take questions. We got like 31 people viewing us live right now. Feel free to throw any questions, and it doesn't have to be related to what we showed here. Could be anything at all. And Shane, go ahead, bring that back up and pimp off your YouTube channel real quick, and then we will take some questions.
Oh no, I was just going to say, go out to youtube.com/Shane Young Cloud. Or you can just search for Power Apps on the top results for most of those. But the reason I point out is, if you're interested in any of the stuff we did here, I turn all this stuff into actual videos, right? Production quality, short, tight, just exactly step-by-step how to do this stuff. And so if you subscribe, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, then you'll be notified when I put up the Tesla video or the PDF video, which don't tell John, but I think I'm going to do the PDF video this weekend. And have to remember to say, John was sleeping, so I made this video.
Nice.
John, I think he's still on the YouTube channel, so he's listening.
Yeah, he's not sleeping.
Busted.
Busted.
So John just piped up and said Shane should use computer vision to confirm his face to unlock the car.
Ooh, that's a pretty daunting challenge right there. John,
I can give you a hint. You could take a picture with Power Apps and send it to Cognitive Services, and then there's an API which basically returns that if it's you or not.
Yeah,
So
face
it's
it.
Or
just
if it's
easy.
or
But
if
you have
it's
to
a hot
train
dog.
it. You have to train it because you
Yeah,
will be.
you have to train it. You have to put multiple pictures of yourself, and then when you take a picture, it actually recognizes that it's you. Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question here from Mr. Donovan. He says, handling failed flow runs. I'm having an issue where sometimes an on new email trigger just fails. Yeah, and so I think that actually, depending on your plan, could be an issue, but that's more of a bug that we should be working through, I think, than a question. So connect with me after, and I can get you connected to support on that one.
Mr. Donovan's a very good gentleman. He's from Lexington, Kentucky, friend of mine. So good dude.
Awesome. So we got 5 minutes, guys. Any last questions? Or if not, we will just go ahead and close it up and hand 5 minutes back.
Do we have any special plans for Ignite?
Oh, yes, there's going to be a lot of us at Ignite. We should make special plans. You know what? Why don't I'll take that on, and I'll put together some evening event for us.
How about you get me a speaking slot so I can go to Ignite?
Do you not have one?
No.
You don't have one? All right, I'll see what I can do.
I don't know how many top 10 sessions I've turned into Tech Ed and Ignite over the years, but I'm scared, so they won't let me do one. It's very rude, but people don't want to hear about that, so I'll be quiet.
I'll see what I can do. Let's see here. For SharePoint list flows that are longer term, do you guys have any recommendation when it comes to connector identity management? Any known issues?
Can you say again?
For SharePoint list flows that are longer term, do you guys have any recommendation when it comes to connector identity management or any known issues? I'm not sure. I don't even understand that. No, I don't either.
Okay.
I'm very curious.
So it's on the YouTube here from Chris Webb. When is the next Hangout? You know what? We've been talking about it. I think we decided that we're probably going to do one of these a month. And we're going to try and make it a little bit different time in the day so our Australia counterparts might be able to join us. And then I should also see about getting a pro plan here for Hangouts so we can have 25 people present instead of 10. Because we want to have the whole crew in here and not be picking and choosing and have everyone dropping in and out.
Could we do a Hangout at Ignite? That would be awesome.
Do we do what? Oh, Hangout at Ignite? We should do one. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I was thinking like our next Hangout can be talking about plans for Ignite, and then we actually do one at Ignite too.
And
this is solid.
So guys, at Ignite, they have a podcast booth. And so they can stream straight from there. So if you just tell them you want to sign up for a Flow podcast, then you'd have
I'm doing 2 podcasts, by the way. I'm doing 2.
Okay, Ahmad, let's use one of yours, the one you were going to interview me. Let's turn it into a Hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Really cool with that.
Cool. Okay, well, we do not have any other questions here. We have one. It says, when will location-based triggers be released? So I am having them build me a version that I can demo at Ignite, but that means that a production, it won't be in production for probably another 2 months is what I'm hearing. So I showed it off very early because I wanted to show it off with the interns that built it before they went back to school. So I definitely gave you guys a preview. So we're a couple months out still from the location-based triggers. But with that being said, we will be showing it again. Kent and I came up with some things we're going to show off at Ignite. Went and talked to the dev team. They confirmed that they'll have a stable build for us to demo for Ignite.
John.
Yes.
Can you ask Chris Webb to post this question, SharePoint Flow question, to my Twitter?
So he says, sorry for confusion. Just have issues with my connector identity breaking and needing updating often. Didn't know if that was common or not. Our service accounts recommended. So sounds like his auth tokens are expiring.
Okay.
And so that could be on his end. Ours, we typically don't. We tend to persist tokens, so that's usually on your end. But Chris, if you want to follow up with me after, go ahead and do that. My Twitter, John J. Levesque, at John J. Levesque. I can go ahead and link it here. Probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. All right, guys, and we're at time. I want to respect everyone's time and end us now. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, everyone, for coming and watching, and for the whole crew for joining and hanging out and broadcasting. Love you guys. See you all at Stockholm and then Ignite. Later.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.